Hello and welcome to my introduction tutorial for the Unreal Development Kit. In this tutorial we will be using the assets provided within the development kit to create a basic first-person shooter game in 10 simple steps. Okay, so step 1 is to download the Unreal Development Kit located on the Unreal Engine website. So what you must first do is click on the download link located on the home page of the website. Once you have clicked that download link, you'll see that there is lots of previous versions of the Unreal Development Kit. What you will need is the latest version. So if you go to the top of the screen and click on the download latest release, and there you go. Just wait for that to download, and once it has downloaded, go ahead and then open the install file and click on UI sample game. Make sure you tick that on the install options. And once you have clicked that on the install options, you can choose a location of where you want to save it and just click install. So once the engine has installed, click on File, New Level, Blank Map, so we can begin creating the level. The WASD keys can be used to navigate around the objects, as well as a right click which allows you to change the direction. You can use a scroll to zoom in and out of the level, so if you're focusing on an object, or if you're trying to sort something out or line something up within the map. The first thing you do need to do is actually go to File, Save As, and actually save the level as DM underscore. The reason why you need to save the level as DM underscore is so the level actually starts up as a deathmatch. So what I'll do is name my my file name as DM underscore FPS demo, and just save that. Next, what you're going to do is make the ground. So what you need to do is right click on the cube icon located in the panel on the right under the brushes. It should open a box labeled brush builder. Here you will see the properties for your ground, depending on how big or small you want it. For my level, I will set the X as 3000, Y as 3000, Z as 30, and finally the wall thickness as 30. Click build and close the window. In the panel on the right of the screen, there is an option to add a CSG, which stands for Constructive Solid Geometry. What you should see is your ground now appear, so have a look around and make sure your ground is the perfect size you wanted it. So the next thing you need to do is add some sort of texture to your ground. So open up the content browser located in the top panel in the middle of the screen. As you can see, there are a range of meshes, sounds, materials and particle effects you can use that are provided by UDK, but all you need to do now is add a material to the ground. So click on the materials, choose one and drag it onto the ground, and it should change to the desired material. Close the content browser after you're finished with it, and then let's move on to the next thing, which is creating the walls. Next, we need to create the walls by right clicking on the cube again. My properties for my wall are set at X equals 30, Y equals 3000, Z equals 700, and wall thickness equals 30. Once you have done that, just close that box down. This may differ depending on the size of the ground you've created for your level, so double check the wall is actually big enough. So just move it around and have a look. Once you have done that, click on the overlapping boxes in the top right hand corner. What this should open up is 4 different viewpoints of the level. This will make it easier for you to line up the walls properly without you having to actually like use your camera and move around and position them right at the edge and make sure they're not two to the left or two to the right. You can actually just use all 4 viewpoints to position them perfectly on the edges of each side of the map. You can click on add CSG again and then go to your browser and add the texture, or you can make life easier for yourself by just clicking on the content browser and then clicking on the material you want to use for the wall, and then closing the window and then add the CSG. And what it should do is it should create the wall using the material you have selected. Now use your move and rotation tools to move the wall to each side of the map, and just add CSG and it'll just add the texture that you've selected. Do this for each side, and then once you're done, move on to the next step. In step 4, we have to add the lighting by right clicking the middle of the map and add actor, add lighting point, and a light point should appear in the middle of the map. Move and resize the light so it's positioned correctly on the map. Again, this will vary depending on how you design your map and how big your map is. Next, you must add a player start, which is where your character will spawn. So right click on the ground where you want your player to spawn and click add actor, then add player start. You can also use a content browser now provided by UDK to change and personalize the look of your map. You can do this by just clicking on the content browser at the top and then selecting whichever mesh or whichever materials you want to use. But for now, I'm just adding some storage tanks found in the building meshes. Just going to place a couple of them around, nothing too fancy. Try to keep your level as simple as possible, because we are going to be looking at more advanced techniques later on in the following tutorials I'm going to be releasing. So just try to make it as simple as possible. Don't overdo it with your materials and adding loads. It's just that there's no need. You're going to face a lot of errors and a lot of problems if you do actually just start adding loads of things. So just keep it simple, like how I'm doing, and just add a couple of materials or meshes, and then obviously move on to the next step. Add a path node by right clicking on the location of where you'd like your enemy AI to spawn. Right click, add actor, then add path node. An icon should appear that looks a bit like an apple. Now you are going to use Unreal Kismet, which is essentially a gameplay scripting tool that allows designers to create scripts for gameplay events. So you will be using this to spawn enemy AI. So firstly, click on the first path node you created for your enemy level, so your enemy spawn, and then click on Unreal Kismet, which is located next to the content browser icon at the top. A main sequence window should open up. Right click anywhere in the grey area and go new action, actor factory, which should open up an actor factory box. Now click anywhere next to the box and right click again. This time go new event, level loaded, which will open up a level loaded box. Click on the loaded and visible and drag it to spawn actor on the actor factory box. Right click on the Unreal Kismet window again, click on new object var using path node _0, which should create a path node icon. Click on the spawn point box in the actor factory and link it to that path node. On the actor factory, so we can adjust the properties of the enemy AI. In the properties windows, click the blue arrow to change the factor to UT actor factory AI. Now click force deathmatch AI, change the control class to UT pawn. Change the name of your enemy by adding a pawn name. For now I'll just use enemy AI. Check default inventory so the enemy spawns with a weapon. Scroll down and you'll see a spawn count, which is how many enemies will spawn in the game. You can adjust this, but for now I'll set it at 20 and spawn delay to 5 seconds. You need to make sure the enemy has time to move off its spawn point in order for another enemy to spawn, so 5 seconds is a good delay after you've allowed your enemy to move around the map. You will need to add more path nodes around your map so your enemy AI is able to run around the map instead of standing in one place. So go ahead and add path nodes around your map with one in every corner so the enemy is able to make its way around any objects you have placed. I personally, I'm not going to add a lot for now because this is obviously a basic tutorial, so I'm just going to add a couple around the areas, one obviously in each corner, and then obviously move on to the next step. On view in the menu and go to world properties. Firstly, you need to go to zone info and change the kill Z, which essentially stops a player from falling forever when they fall off the map despite having walls. This needs to be set regardless, so for now I'll set it at -1000 and check soft kill Z. Next, expand the game type and change the default game type to UT deathmatch, and then just close the window. Finally, building your lighting and AI path by clicking on build lighting and just press OK without selecting anything. Ignore any errors once that's done. It does take some time sometimes, depending on the specifications of your computer. Close the windows after that's done. Next, do the same thing with the AI path so the enemies can move around the map. So click on build again. This time select AI path so it builds your current paths. Ignore any errors again. This might bring up, obviously, as you can see, I've got a lot of them. Close all those windows, and once you have closed all of them down, press play located at the top panel, sorry. And what should happen is you should spawn into the map with the gun and a HUD displaying your health and your ammo, with enemies running around the map trying very hard to kill you. The errors that might come up whilst you are playing the game is Kismet warning, failed to spawn at path node, which may appear just all it means is basically the bot cannot spawn while the previous bot is still standing on the spawn. This can be resolved by decreasing the spawn amount or increasing the spawn delay, or even creating different spawn points using separate nodes with their own properties. And you're done. The whole idea of this tutorial was for you to get a basic understanding of this engine and actually how easy it is to use. I will be making a series of follow-up tutorials to give you more techniques you can use to adapt into any game, not just necessarily first-person shooters. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.